Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Educational Gamer and we are playing Command Modern Naval Air Operations. Just last time we were a little bit unlucky and maybe a little bit greedy in that we did attack over here very close to the enemy, even though we did know that there were in fact quite a lot of enemy anti-air units stationed over here. So yeah, that was maybe a little bit stupid, but nevertheless I do think it was important because it allowed us to shoot down the head of the Pakistani Air Force, and furthermore it did allow us to spot a lot of the things that were going on over here. So we can see that there are two units, or that there are a lot of army units stationed over here, so that is certainly one of our priority attack patterns. Until then though, because I do want to start our attack at night, we can see that quite a couple of things are happening down here. So firstly, we did launch a submarine attack against one ship, which is this ship over here, and we haven't seen that ship in quite a while, actually, in 50 seconds or so. So I'm not entirely sure whether it is still around. Let's adjust our radar pattern over here a little bit, so that we might get new information on you. You seem to be actually still around. At least we do still get a radar signature on you. So you know what? What we're actually going to do over here is take this second torpedo that we launched and turn it around. And because everything is happening a little bit slower, we are going to tell you to drive a little bit slower, because I'm not sure what your range is, and certainly using a little bit better range would help. So let's accelerate time somewhat. There we go. We did lose a contact, and you, sir, are being ordered to a different altitude, which I don't think is entirely true. You know, we probably need to talk about your doctrine over here. So let's have a look at that. So, withdraw and redeploy. I don't think that's the right one. Probably in general, we want you to dive when threatened, and we are going to tell you to do that. Don't do that, basically. And that should be fine. So let's resume our game over here. And let's tell you to go to periscope depth. And that should hopefully be fine. Yeah, there we go. We did lose the contact, so that to me means it's sunk, and that means we can send this torpedo away again. More importantly though, we are still getting very conflicting information on these ships. Which I think is mainly due to the fact that we don't have a radar lock on them right now. But we should be able to detect them by virtue of this plane though. Yeah, they are still there. We need to, I think, try to run a little bit more towards their direction. Like such maybe. And then hopefully we will be able to intercept them. If not, that's fine. We do, in a couple of hours, have a couple of our ships, our aircraft ready, actually, to support that mission, but we will have to see about that. Our aircraft, I think, is probably returning to base. Are you? And if so, why? Would it be shotgun? You know what? That's not actually true. I don't want you to return to base. That is something that is, to me, a little bit lacking in this game. You can't actually tell aircraft or anyone to come back and not engage. Sorry, so to come back from an order that when they were placed on a return to base mission already. Let's see over here. Somehow spotting these ships. Couple of MiG-29s being readied on the vehicle running out. So how do we look over here then? I think we are looking fairly good. And I would expect the intercept to happen somewhere over here. Probably just this a little bit. But we should be able to see them actually at some point. Right. Lots of engagement possibilities over here. And you know what? All of these guys are hostile, we know that much. I don't want to do that for every single one manually. Okay, so since we fulfilled most of our objectives, I think the most important now is to get this helicopter to where it needs to be, and that is the position of that submarine, which we've lost contact with for a while now. About the background noise. But we can definitely come in a little bit faster over here. What about this guy then? We still have about 30 minutes of good fuel left, so we are going to try to use that. And if he's returning to base because of the fuel, that is going to be alright. Not the most beautiful search pattern, but you know what, it's going to be alright. Primarily I want to keep an eye on these guys over here. And we are very close to that actually. 12 miles, so we are technically within range. More importantly, we have gotten another fixture on this submarine over here. Just 22 miles away, so I think we'll be able to get there very soon with our helicopter. Getting closer. So once we are there, might actually do this over here already, which is 4 miles away. We should have a look at the sonar buoys that this guy does carry. And there is the active sonar buoy like such. There's this active only end range and directional. Interesting. Why are we carrying two of these guys? We think that you are pretty low in the water, so that means we will drop an active sonar buoy in the shallow water. Should see that going down by 1 over here, and that should give us, we might actually want to turn that on for a second over here, and that should give us some information from this sonar buoy now. Nothing so far, nothing definitive so far, so let's get a little bit closer and maybe get a better target fix that way. So that's fine. Do you have any dipping technology? Well, first off, you might actually want to go to minimum altitude, and we can then drop another active sonar buoy in the shallow water. And I do hope that we have at least a fairly good rough idea where that submarine might be. Another one, maybe this one deep. Let's get over here a little bit. Should be able to spot him. I feel like that should be a possibility over here. Do you actually carry anti-air weapons? Because that might be a problem. Doesn't look like you do. Modern submarines sometimes do that. Just sort of a stinger weapon in their telescope or periscope. Well, we do think it's somewhere within this red range, so doesn't necessarily need to be where we are now. But certainly, let's try to deploy our dipping sonar. See it slowing down over there. It should be somewhere in here. Yeah, you can see it counting down there. Look! There we go. we did spot it for a second. And that is when we launched that torpedo, so let's drop another active sonar buoy over here just so we can keep track of that. Did drop the Stingray, which seems to be on a search pattern now. Oh. Time to live. These guys should be giving us some information. I feel it must have been a little bit close over here. Let's see, our torpedo doesn't seem to be able to find it. But we were confident enough to launch. Whoop, something has happened. Hostile. Where did you go? Oh, you just... Now we are less sure where you are, really? Just because of all of the things that we deployed? Interesting. Let's get you over here. We are going to drop a couple of sonar boys. So the torpedo probably has run out of juice. I think it's probably a little bit more to the west over here now. That's fine. It must be somewhere. Difficulty in anti-submarine warfare that it's really difficult to actually find these guys. How many more have we got? Well, we've got a couple, so should actually be fine. Right, let's see whether we can... I think, well, it's such a small range and he must be somewhere over here. Why do we not get a better target lock on him? Especially active sonar should be fairly easy to find. Is he going deeper? I don't think he is. Whoop! What's going on? There's a torpedo in the water. Okay. So, over here, this guy has resurfaced, in a way, and actually is launching torpedoes against us. So, what I'm going to do then is to actually... Can I do that via your doctrine window? Can I tell you to weapon release? Nothing I can do over here. So, rules of engagement... Kinematic range, practical range, practical range. So you on practical range. What I'm gonna do is switch over to kinematic range for manual launches. The difference between these two things is that I should be able to launch a torpedo against this guy and this guy as we go. And gonna do another one against this submarine, and that might be helpful. And then of course I would like you to just go to flank speed. Don't care about cavitation, just go as fast as you can and just get over the layer. So dive, be quick about it, and launch as many torpedoes all around as you can. We should also probably... I think you're self-deploying, right? Expendable, decoy. Let's set that up. Deploy decoy? Where can I do that? Decoy... Chef? I don't think it's chef. Oh well. It's probably deployed automatically. Right, lots of torpedoes going all kinds of ways. That's nice to see. Since we do have that many torpedoes left, I do want to launch them against these ships. The more the merrier, basically. So my basic thinking here is that Chunky is probably not going to make it. And the reason I think that is because this submarine over here is probably superior. It has definitely gotten the first shot off, so that's not very good. Crew of 100. Abilities are somewhat so-so actually. Passive only. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to detect us that well, but all in all I think, well, basically due to the fact that they are the ones that opened, I think we are a little bit screwed. So let's use our active sonar range so that we can spot them maybe a little bit easier. Interesting to see. Of course we should try to run away actually. You're fairly deep now. Haven't spotted these guys in a minute or so. Torpedoes are somewhere, but we're fairly sure that they'll probably be attacking us. This guy should still drop his active sonar voice though. Because somewhere over here we know that there's a submarine. So you know what? Deploy a dipping sonar. Just see whether we can find him a little bit better. Slowing down, then he should descend, and that should be fine. Let's look at the situation down here. Can I actually tell you to turn on your sensors in the torpedoes? I don't think I can. What are these guys doing? Are you not even guided or anything? Oh. Yeah, these are really horribly old submarines. Wait, what? I think we've spotted another submarine. A potential submarine contact. Yeah, over here. That's a lot of enemy submarines. And even if we are very close to them, we can't seem to find them very well. So that certainly is an issue. Deploying a sonar for 3 more minutes. Let's drop a deep sonar buoy here as well. Just so that they can't dive out of range. Things down there don't seem to be going too well. These torpedoes are wiggling about just way too much. Let's see whether we'll be any successful. And at this point I would count it as a success just to engage one of these ships. Just let's keep in mind how many people are on Shanki. 36 of our people. Yeah, these torpedoes are definitely getting closer. Theirs are. Ours seem to be a little bit all over the place. Yeah, they are getting closer. Dangerous. Very dangerous to us. Let's make sure that these guys are flying over there at least. So that we do have a good target log, if nothing else. I'd really like to get a good log over here as well. Han submarine. But I mean, at the very least, our torpedoes seem to be getting close to these ships as well. You want to maybe tell this guy to be a little bit slower? I think we are making some progress here, but I'm worried about Chalky. I think it's gonna be a sacrifice, actually. Anti-submarine warfare sort of at its best. Yeah, definitely these torpedoes are closing in dangerously. And you can see this guy is starting to evade. So this guy is starting to try and run away, but I don't think he'll be able to make speed quickly enough. At just 3 knots, I think he's toast. So that was better on our side with this 16 knots increase in speed. But all in all, that's going to be very difficult for him. This guy, I think he might have a better chance. We are still fairly far away from him. Come on. If we hit first, that would be brilliant. I think we might be able to. That would be very nice. Ah! It was a dud. We did hit him, but it was a dud. So our torpedoes weren't even as good as we thought they might be. That's depressing. More sonar, boys. You know, we know the submarine is here, we don't know where it is yet. That's so bad. And over here we are very close to being hit. Very, very close. I think we are toast. Yeah, so the best we know, it's actually 200 meters behind us. Yeah, there we go. Schalke has been destroyed. That is very, very unfortunate. So there's an event for our ship being sunk. Not great. I do hope that we get our vengeance by these torpedoes. So let's see whether there's anything there that would happen. You can see this ship has now made all of its speed, so we are able to close in, but very, very, very slowly. So you can actually see just how slowly that torpedo is coming up behind the ship. And we did lose a little bit of the contact info there, so that's even less useful for us now. You know what, I don't know what to do with you. I really don't know. Let's deploy a dipping sonar, if nothing else. Will give us some information. Miss re-attack? Okay, that's interesting. So we apparently did just miss the ship, with a hit probability of 75%, mind you. So we are seemingly re-attacking it. But I think we are running out of fuel over there. Not much more information that we seem to be able to get. All of these torpedoes are looking for targets. Don't think they'll find many. Something has happened. Okay. So actually we were able to hit one of their ships. Brilliant. Very good. That at least is a little consolation. I think their ships have many more people at least. Yeah. Not that that is the most relevant, but still it's good to see that, you know, we are doing some damage. Although I don't think we will be able to get any submarine over there. Shouldn't forget this submarine either. That's a lot of submarines for them to have. Let's try to get more information on this guy then. Oh, apparently he is starting to run away a little. But as far as we know, he is still not too deep. This is a very, very dense net of sonar boys, so I'm not sure why we can't get him. Really should be able to do so. "10 minutes since we last got information. Alright, time to deploy the dipping sonar. Could also go over here. But on the other hand, the information that we have over there is fairly unreliable either, so not much good to do that. Come on, just how much information on this guy can we produce? would at least like to sink one of them. Yeah, we are losing a lot of contact information on the land stuff that we've been engaging with, but I don't think it's too drastic. We know roughly where it was, so should be fine. Every now and then we should drop a deep sonar buoy. These guys must feel hunted. I mean, they are, so... Well, well, well. So one ship left standing and a couple of submarines. The submarines I think we'll be able to avoid if we stay away from them. But I would still like to sink them. But we just don't seem to have any luck. Actually, the UK submarine, the one in the middle over here, is fairly decent at spotting some of these things. What depth are you actually at? Shallow? Can you be just over the layer? Yeah, our helicopter is returning, which I think is fair. Although probably still should drop. Do we even have passive ones? I think we do. Yeah, they're all active. So there's one ship left from their side, and I would like to put a sonar buoy just directly in its path, and that should be alright. Yeah, otherwise you are returning to base, bingo. That's alright. We do have our ships though, and at this point I should turn this off again. So let's look at the Vikramaya. 22 minutes till we can launch these guys. Most of these guys do have the A variant, but we do carry a couple of C variants of this missile. The C variants are very nice because they are anti-radiation missiles. And that's fine. I think it will be very good to launch them like such. 22 minutes is also a very good time for them to be on target, because I think it would be time to launch one of our helicopters, and we might actually want to launch that from Queen Elizabeth over here, which should have some over here early airborne warning. That's fine. We launch one of these guys, bring it up towards the mission area, and then that guy can illuminate. So, that's you. You're the right one. Yep, seems good. Let's bring you up over here. Let's bring you up over here and then over here. And at this point I will ask you to be as high as possible. And I'm also going to ask you to... Can I say that at that point you should turn on your radar? That should be fine. Right, so that being said, thank you very much for watching, and next time we will conduct our airstrike. Bye bye.